That's recording now. Okay. Yeah. Good afternoon. My name is Fumi. I'm one of the admins of the data community, and the essence of this section is to discuss the last monthly data that was shared on the group. That was shared in November, right? The health care data. And well, I was hoping that more people would join, but since we're just 4 here, I already asked Ifena. He said he has not really had time to work on that data. I don't know if Onokpemikpo and Joshua, maybe one of you guys have actually worked on this data before. Because I was actually hoping that it would be an interactive section.
Actually, there is this group on this thing on WhatsApp that I'm on, and then there's I can't remember his name now. He referred me to the Telegram group, like to the link. So he just told me to be there and then just see what is going on in the group and try to see what I can do. But so far, I've just been, just like waiting for something like this. But I'm a recent graduate in industrial mathematics, and I don't know. I don't know if I know what I'm doing. But I can
Okay,
use
I get
it.
it. So more like you are relatively new. That's fine.
Something like that, yes. Something like
Yeah,
that.
I get it. Hi, Joshua. I can't hear you. You're muted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I've worked on the data before. Then my challenge on the data was the date of admission.
Okay. So the missing parts, right?
The missing part.
What tool did you use?
I used Power BI.
Okay, so what was the issue? Like you were trying to fill up the missing parts.
Yes, I was trying to fill up the missing part. I had to replace the missing part with the none. So it was giving me a challenge.
Okay.
I shared my result on the platform.
Okay. So maybe like let's just start to the walkthrough. So we won't take a lot of time. Maybe by then you have a better insight into that missing part. So let me share my screen to start with. So the major issue, or let me just start the section, right? I don't want to start answering your questions and we won't be able to take the class, and before you know it, we are spending a lot of time on your question. So to start with, for me, right, I majorly used Power BI for the data, but then I did a bit of data cleaning in Excel. Okay, so this is the data. Is this it? No. Let me close this. Sorry. I'm not sure if anyone can see my screen. Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yeah, your screen is fine. I can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. So this is the data. This is the data that was shared on the group. I want to be sure if this is not the one that I've worked on. Okay. So this was what was shared on the group in November for the data, for the monthly data challenge, and we have this. So the first thing was this date of admission. So the first thing I tried to do was to kind of glance through. I want to minimize this. Okay. So the first thing I did was to glance through all first. That's why I said I did a bit of data cleaning in Excel, and also I did my analysis properly in in Power BI.
Okay.
And I need to state this, that I'm not 100% done with this particular data, right? I've not really had time to work on it, but I just felt instead of waiting till perfection, let me just share what I have and let's kind of have a conversation on it. So when I started working on this data, I try as much as possible to understand these terminologies and know what each abbreviation represents, so that when I'm doing my analysis, I understand, okay, this is what I want to bring out. This is what I want the management of this hospital to be able to see. And also I try to understand each column of this data, understand what's like, get the true picture, like an overview of what this data is all about. So from that, I was able to deduce that, oh, this is the record of a particular hospital, and it's from 2017 to 2019. The data has the gender, the type of admission, and some of these columns represent an underlying disease of those patients that visit this particular hospital. And some of the columns, which I'm still trying to understand perfectly though, some of the columns actually represent their test result as well. So with that background understanding, I can tell that, oh, this is like a 3 record from a treating patients with some underlying sickness and some of their medical records, basically. So with that understanding, I now come to this missing data part. So one of the major missing data parts is this date of admission, which is this DOA. And looking at this DOA, I already know that, okay, this was the day that a particular patient was admitted. And this particular data here has duration of stay. So there is duration of stay, there is duration of intensive unit stay. So what I notice is that the value for duration of intensive unit stay is actually lesser than the duration of stay. So it's giving the total number of days of stay is duration of stay, and maybe out of it is this intensive unit stay. So with this, I feel like I can do some calculations to get this missing value. Because I already know that, oh, let's say today is 30th and I have a particular patient leaves the hospital on the 30th, which is date of discharge. And that patient goes to the hospital, and that patient goes to the hospital in a day that I don't know because the data was not there. But if I deduct duration of date of discharge from this duration of stay, I should be able to have a value, like a date of, oh, this person got in 3 days ago or 2 days ago, and I should be able to fill up this missing date. So this kind of speak to the challenge that you said you were having when you were working on this data, because you said that I can't remember your name, I should have mentioned you. So this
Okay.
kind of speaks to that part now that, oh, there is missing value, but then I think we have something that we can fill it up with. So which was what I did. I think someone is trying to join. I was actually trying to admit everyone, but I don't know why that didn't work. Okay. So going by that, the next thing I did was to filter by the blanks. Is it here? Can't see. Okay, the blank is here, sorry. The blank is in duration, date of admission, right? So I filter by the blanks. But before filtering by the blanks, I think I want to create a new column first. I want to create a new column here. Then I know that I want to filter by the blanks here. And I want to deduct this duration of stay from this. So equal to this minus duration of stay, which actually gives the date that that patient was admitted. So with this, I can fill up the missing values for the dates, which is like the major missing data in this particular record. But the reason why I did this column separately was I think I was having issues with dragging down, and I thought, okay, let me just fill a blank space for so that I can compare what I have. I hope this dragging down works this time. Okay. This was what I was trying to avoid though, but then so I'm just trying to drag down here. I think the double tap didn't work for this because it has to do with dates. Another person is trying to join. That was why I told people to join earlier. Does anyone know how to admit all on Teams? So I don't need to be clicking this join thing. Can you guys still hear me? This
Yes,
is going to be an interactive section.
Yeah, I'm still with you.
Okay. Thank you for that response. Okay. So as not to waste time, this is like the only thing this was like the cleaning that I said I did on Excel before moving to Power BI. So with this, the missing data part for this date of admission has been addressed. So the only thing I think I also try to check here on Excel was to just kind of have an overview what each column represents, what each abbreviation represents, and all that. So aside from this, I then moved to Power BI. So it was in Power BI that I really like. Hi, Jimoke, you're raising your hand.
Yeah, please, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Yeah, I said, is it being recorded? Because I thought we were supposed to do it together or something.
Certainly, it's recorded.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is 2:19 already, and we said 2 p.m. And it's festive period and all that. So I was actually contemplating if people will really join. So we started around 2:05, but then it's been recorded. Yeah, so to continue with it, so after doing that data cleaning part um in Excel, I imported the data to Power BI. So I already have like what I was able to do, which is this. I mentioned earlier that I'm not really done. Like I don't have the kind of results that I want 100%, because the truth of the matter is I'm just trying to understand some of these terminologies and how to make a good use of that data 100%, because I feel like it shouldn't just be like a summary kind of data. Is summary the right word to use now? Not just data description, like there should be some kind of deep dive into the data, which I feel like I've not really been able to produce that result yet. So, but then let's do with what I currently have and try to have a section of this. I'm trying to cancel this. Okay. So the next thing is to import that data into our Power BI. So it's an Excel workbook, and this is the data. Then I want to open. So at the moment, I don't have reasons to do any kind of transformation on data. So I just want to load this data directly into Power BI. I'm not using Power Query at the moment. So that this won't kind of take a lot of time, I want to do this analysis side by side with what I already have. So what I'll be doing is to duplicate a sheet and replicate what I already have here, which will make it, I think, faster. If I need to do anything new, I'll go back to this original sheet that I just imported. So this is like the first page that I have for my analysis. And here I have the title, health data analysis, number of patients, the patient's gender, because I'm kind of trying to think like the management of this organization of this hospital that, oh, what would they like to see? Okay, this is the gender distribution. You have more male patients visit your hospital in the last 3 years than female. And also this particular chart represents the discharge, expired and DAMA. And what this discharge, expired and DAMA means, I think discharge means, oh, the patient that they discharged, and I think expired means the patients that died at the clinic. And this DAMA has to do with, if I'm very correct, because I think I tried to check some things out with GPT to really understand what their terminology looks like. And I think this DAMA represents, oh, the patients felt like, oh, I'm no longer staying in your facility. Please discharge me. They were the ones that said they want their self-discharge, and they signed the document to the facility that they are going home. I think that's what DAMA represents. Then the next thing I have here is the urban versus rural patients. Oh, these people are from a civilized community, and maybe these ones are from this not well developed areas. So another thing I have on this first page is the daily patient number. So the data is like a 2017 to 2019 data, and I want to be able to say, okay, on a daily basis, this is total number of patients that visit your facility. So that is why I kind of like do a line, have a line chart of the number of patients on a daily basis. So now I'm trying to rush so that there will be time for question and answer and it won't take a lot of time. So now for this particular page one, now let me try to create these visuals again by duplicating the page. That's what I'm trying to do now. So the first thing I have here is this health data analysis, and how I was able to do this was to use the text box under home, text box. I already mentioned that this is not like 100% work yet, so I might still change the title to something else. I might still change the colors later on, but then this is what I have at the moment. So I just type in health data analysis or healthcare data analysis, which one? Healthcare data analysis thing. I changed the size to 44. I think I use 44. I changed. Guys, please, can you still hear me? Can you still see my screen?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So then this, and I made it bold. Yeah. So this, what I'm currently doing now is to replicate what I have in this page one. Okay. So the next thing is this total number of patients. For total number of patients, I use this card. Reduce the cards, then. So one thing is Power BI is, if you want to like go through your data, you can always check here. So I use this MRD number. Think from the best of my understanding, this MRD number means the card number, basically. Like if you go to a facility, an hospital today, they want to say, okay, you have a card with us, this is your number. So I believe that a patient might visit this particular hospital more than once in those 3 years, because the record I have is a 3-year record. But then I want to be able to say, okay, you people have a distinct number of patients in these 3 years. So now this is showing some, and you know how Power BI can be. You need to understand what you are doing so that you'll be able to say, okay, this is what I need out of this. So now this is showing some, and honestly, I don't need to sum anything here. I just need to count the distance number of hard numbers, which will actually tell me that, okay, this is the total number of patients that came to this hospital. Total number of distinct patients. I'm not counting repetitive numbers. I want it distinct. So now this is how I come across that 12,200 and something that I have. So let's say I want to count the total number of patients, regardless of if it is a returning patient. By returning patient, I mean that maybe the person came in January and came back in July. So this is just giving this particular distance number is giving the hospital the kind of understanding of, oh, this is the distance number of times that this is the distance number of patients that they have in 3 years. So I think I want to have that other than showing them the other one or showing them the total number. But then if that is what you want to see, you might just change this to count. Can you guys still hear me? I hope my background noise is not disturbing.
No, you're fine.
Okay. So I'm changing this back to distance, which is this. And yes, this is what I have. I think I want it down. So I'm just changing this to count of patients here. Count for patients number, right? I think I use patients number here. I think I need to move to somewhere else because of this background noise. All right. So let's move fast. The next thing I have here is patient's gender. For gender distribution, to be able to tell, okay, which gender visited the hospital most. And for patient's gender, I have gender and this MRD as well. So what I need to have in this chart is the gender, then this MRD number. I already mentioned that for this analysis, I'm using their distance count of MRD number. So I don't want to use any other thing. I don't want to use the counts. I don't want to count all. I don't want to count repetitive patients number. I want to count them as distinct patients over the 3 years. So I use count distance, and that was how I got this. So just a bit of cleaning the charts to actually look like what I want. And I added the data label to show the numbers. Then I changed the title to patients. I changed the title to patients gender or something like that. So patients number and I am just trying to like move as fast as possible. So this won't be a very lengthy video, even at the end of the day. I'm removing this title here. Then for the y-axis, I'm removing the title too. Then this as well. Okay, so this is it for patients. This is patient gender. Now, why did I put number? Gender. And okay, every other thing is just finishing touches, right? So the next one here is outcome of patient visits. So this outcome of patient visits, there's a table for outcome. There's a table for outcome, right? Yeah, there's a column for outcome, I mean. So some of the outcome, what we have here is DAMA, discharge, expiry, and that was how I got to understand that, oh, this is what this their DAMA means, this is what this expiry means. So that one is just outcome against MRD as well. So for that, I think I used this chart. Then outcome, then the MRD number. And I already explained why I'm using count distance. I'm not interested in repetitive visit to the clinic. I'm interested in the numbers of distant patients at the clinic, right? So this is this. So just the regular renaming and cleaning up as well for this. Okay, so the next one I have here is urban versus rural. So I want to know because when it comes to health data, right, every details matters. They might want to say that, oh, this particular disease, I mentioned that this data set have some portion of their underlying disease and it has some portion for their checkup result. I think I should should I call that checkup result or their health well, it could still be checkup result. So in a way they might want to say, okay, maybe because of the kind of environments that this person is living, that is why the person has this kind of disease or something like that. So I felt like, oh, they might need to see the percentage of or the total number of people that lives in the urban area and the total number of patients that lives in the rural area. So and that's like the thought process behind this urban versus rural. So for that, it's still the same MRD against MRD against I think there's a column for urban type of area, yeah, this one. So for that I used what do I have? Look, I check. Okay. I use the same charts as well. Then type of area and the MRD. So I'm changing this to distinct count. And yes, I have this as well, which I need to just change the title and remove some things on it. But just as direct as this. So the next one is the line graph. So for that line graph, I was just trying to understand, okay, this particular hospital, they have 1,000, they have 12,000 plus, or let me say 12,500 patients in 3 years. Distant patients. I'm not talking about follow-up records. So on a daily basis, how many distinct do they have? How many times do they have new clients in a day? How many times do they have new patients in a day? Or what's the total number of patients that they have in a day? So that's like the idea behind that line graph showing the total number of patients. So for that, I want to make it wider. And since I'm dealing with the total number of patients, I use this date of admission and this MRD number as well. So I use date of admission and this MRD number. I'm changing the sum of MRD to count distance. And this data is currently showing as yearly thing. So it's kind of summed up 2017, 2018, then 2019. But then I want what's it called? I want a daily record show. So I just come here to change the chart to what I want. Yeah. So I just come here to change it to what I want. So clearly from here now I can tell that, oh, these people, they have more patients in 2018 because the chart in 2018 is kind of modeled together compared to 2017 and 2019. For 2019, they just have few patients from this side from January to like, I think to like May or April. And same for 2019 compared to this side that is filled up for 2018. So the only thing I need to change here is to remove the titles that I don't need and all that. So I have been able to replicate what I have for the first page of my analysis. Are we still together, guys?
Yes, I'm still with you.
All right, thank you. Okay. So moving on to the second page here. So what I have here is basically trying to um trying to know what their data looks like and still like an overview of their data, right? So yeah, I thought of it that since they have two different tables for this duration of stay. So that means there is duration of stay, there is duration of stay, and there is duration of intensive unit stay. So I thought of, okay, let me see the average length of stay for intensive units and average length of stay for non-intensive units. So that's like the idea behind these two numbers I have here. And also the maximum and the maximum number of stay for non-intensive and the maximum number of stay. So this is telling them that, oh, there was a time that they have a patient that stayed for like 100 days because this is like 3 months. So they might want to see to it that, oh, why did this person have to stay this long? And at the end of the day, I hope this person that stayed for 90 days, they didn't eventually die. Because that could be like, oh, this person just ended up wasting money in their facility. And they won't want to have that kind of record going forward. So that's like the idea behind these numbers. And also I tried to um check the type of admission they have mostly. So this is speaking to, oh, when do they have their patients come to the hospital? Is it that they only come when there is an emergency? Because for what I have here, their patients are mostly on emergency. They have 68% come in on emergency, like they have to rush them in. So the ones that came willingly that, oh, I just need to go into the hospital. I feel like I need to go and do some checkup, or I feel like something is wrong with me before it became an emergency. They are just 31%. So this can give them an insight into, oh, we really need to talk to our patients. We need to give them some kind of sensitization that, oh, you don't need to fall sick, or you don't need to be very weak, or you don't need people to start bringing you in before you come to the facility. This is like the idea around this, right? So this particular one is speaking to, okay, intensive care unit. You know, intensive care unit is like ICU, and it's like a critical. When someone is in the ICU, we know it's kind of critical already. So now this is giving like an insight into, okay, how many males, how many of these people in the ICU or people that end up going to the ICU are male, how many of them are female? And out of that, so I did some kind of age distribution because they might be male and they are aged, they might be female and they are young. So we want to know the exact number and we want to be able to pin it down to a particular age distribution. And that is like the reason for this chart. So this here is like the age distribution, and how I was able to do this age distribution is something I need to explain, right? Because this was not part of the data. So for me to be able to explain this age distribution perfectly, I need to go to the data that I imported earlier. You know, I said that this is like what I already have that I want to use to make it faster. But anytime I need to do something afresh, I will need to go back to the data that I imported when we started the class. So this is it. This is the data that I imported from Excel. Okay. So for me to do that age distribution, I need to go to Power Query. So then I'll click on transform data here. Okay, so I'll click on transform data and I'll come to this age column, which is this. So what I want to do basically is that, okay, I want to categorize this age. I want to be able to tell that, oh, this is like the number of child that came to the hospital. They are not all old. Maybe these are the aged people that came to the hospital. These are the teenagers that came to the hospital. So that's like what I'm trying to do in essence. So I'll click on this age, I'll click on add column, then come to this conditional column. So I'll click on conditional column, then I have this, and I want to name this age. Let me just use age group. So another thing to consider for this kind of analysis is we kind of know that these health people, they're mostly not tech inclined. So you don't want to give them complicated analysis that they will not be asking, what is this one? Is this one from our data? That kind of thing. You just want to make it simplify as soon as possible. This is just my own thoughts around it. So that's why I'm just trying to make it as simple as possible. Oh, sorry. Before coming to this column, I think one of the things that I did was to check this the distribution of this age, right? So that I know what I'm really trying to group. So this is how I checked. I came under view, I clicked on column profile. So from this column profile, I noticed that the minimum age is 10 years and the maximum age is 92 years. So with that, I can tell that, oh, so they even have teenagers or they have children visiting their facility too. And I want to do this. So grouping. So what I'm trying to do now is my grouping, we have to cover this from 10 years to 92 years so that I won't have any data that is not well represented with the age distribution. Okay, so moving on to what I was trying to do earlier, then I'll come back to this, click on age, go to conditional column. Then I want to name this age group. Then the conditions that I want to put in is this age. So I want to say that if age is less than or equal to 12, that person is a child because teenage age starts from 13. So I want to capture teenagers currently. So I'm saying that if the child is 0 to 12 years old, the person is still a child. If the patient is from this age bracket. So same thing if the child is or the patient is, let's say I already captured 0 to 12. So I want to capture teenagers. So I'm saying that from 19 less than or equal to 19, that's capturing teenagers, right? So I'm putting 19 here. I'm saying teenagers, or teenager, since it's representing just the data sets. So aside from this age distribution, there's no one way to it though. It's just my thinking and how I want the data to be represented. You can choose to say, okay, I want children together, children with teenagers together, then adults, then maybe aged, or maybe you just want to use two groups. But then I feel like the data will be more represented if they are really breakdown, since it has to do with health conditions. So the next group I think I have there is did I put? Let me check. So the next group I have here is I use child, teenager, okay, adults, aged. I think adults, older adult and aged. I'm not very sure of the exact range that I use, but I'll just try to do the same thing. So I use adults. I think adults should be 20 to let's say 40 years. So I would say anything that is less than or equal to 40 years is an adult, right? Adults and what else do I have there? I think I have adults, older adults. So for older adults, I can say let's say 40 to 50, right? Is that 40 to 50 or 40 to, okay, yeah, I think I use 40 to 64. That's older adults. I'm not sure this will give the same result as what I have earlier because I can't really remember what I used earlier. Okay, I'm not using this. I'm deleting this. So now I'm saying that anything that is more than 64 years old, that person is aged. So for this, I want the output to carry their age range, because I think I made that mistake earlier, and that's why I can't really tell what I used. So I wanted to include their age range. For this is 13 to 19. 13 to 19. Adult is 20 to 40 years, right? Okay. And this is 41 to 64. 41 to 64. And this age means that that person is 65 years upward. Okay. So, okay. So I just want to cross-check if this particular age group that I added captured all the options. I think I have 4 or 5 options. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So this was how I was able to like group the age. Then I just want to close this and go back to Power BI. I'm done using Power Query for that grouping. Okay, so I should have that age group column now, right? So trying to check what you do. Yeah, so this is the age group column that I just added. So I did something like that initially with this. So that was how I was able to do this patient age distribution. So the only thing that I did here is to create a chart. And how I was able to create the chart is to, I think I used a chart, most likely this. Oh, sorry. I use most likely this chart. Yeah, I use this chart, right? And I use this chart, then I clicked on that age grouping that I just worked on, which is this, and also the MRD number, which is this. Then I use count distance, just like I've explained earlier. So this is what I was able to do with that. I just need to like adjust the size and put out the numbers by displaying the accounts. So I think another thing that is here that I've not mentioned is this patient visits is just a simple pie chart of the total number of type of admission. Okay, let me replicate that as well. For this particular chart, patient form of visits, I use this. Then type of admission. We already know that. So if you're having issues with understanding data, you might just go back to this place and check before clicking on the. So this is type of admission. So I use type of admission and MRD number. So type of admission, which is this, then the distinct MRD number too. Yeah, which is this, and that's it. All right. So for this intensive care unit stay duration, distribution by gender. So I used the age group. I used the age group, the gender, and I think the MRD number too. Because for this one, I want to be able to say that, okay, male, the total number of distinct male that were in the ICU is this. And this is just actually a count of duration. Let me just try to replicate this. Then I use the age group. Because I think it was not the age group because it has to do with the agenda, separating my agenda, and count of duration. So that kind of duration has to do with the ICU duration, which is this first one. I think that's intensive, yes. So when I have this, I now thought of it that, oh, this duration is by counting. I think I counted distance. Was I count distance or counted distance? And so I now wanted to see the total number of the number of stay, the average number of stay for each gender based on this age group. So that was when I now added this age group to this legend part. Okay. Is anyone still on the call? Can you guys still relate with what I'm doing?
Yes, yeah, with you.
Okay. I'm
I'll
trying
be
to
going off.
admit this.
That is down.
Okay, okay. It's a recorded section. You can always check the video. All right, I'm actually trying to make it snappy. I'm almost done, so we can take question and answers too, and kind of have a brainstorm section, most likely. So the only thing left here is to show the numbers by showing the data videos here. Yeah, and that was it. Okay, so the part that I actually mentioned that I'm not really done with is this page 3 parts. So aside just showing them the summary, and the reason I said I'm not done is I felt like the data should be able to speak to this, the analysis should be able to speak to this data deeply, not just sparingly, not just the summary. And one way I think that could happen is by speaking into the medical conditions, talking about, okay, from my analysis, this is what I see from this from your patient's medical conditions and all of those things. And to be honest, I've not really been able to like wrap up that part. But then this is like the things that I've been able to do. So for this medical condition, right? So before, okay, let me start with this count of outcome by gender. The count of outcome by gender is just saying that, oh, I'm showing the total number of male and female based on gender, based on outcome, and also outcome by age group, showing the number of male and female, sorry, age group based on outcome. So to speak to this medical condition part is the part that I am trying to still work on, right? And just to speak to their data more aside from just the summary that we have been talking about. So for me to be able to do this, right, I pivoted the data. Although I'm still looking at doing some kind of working around that process better, or maybe doing it all over again, because I'm not sure what I have is accurate at the moment. So initially, we all know that this is what their data looks like, which is this, which is this, each column representing smoking, alcohol, and the diseases type and the test result. So what I did here was to unpivot the data. Where is it? Okay, so what I did here was to unpivot the data such that all the diseases are in one line, or in one column rather, and their diseases value are in one column. So the reason why I'm saying that I might really need to work on this part again is that some of the diseases are actually, they are not all diseases. That's the first mistake that I think I made, because from what is in this Excel sheet, there are some that are diseases, there are some that are like test results. So I felt like I shouldn't have categorized disease and test results together, because it's like kind of affects the effectiveness of the analysis. And another thing is, I noticed that most of their diseases, so to say, have zeros and one. And some test results, I don't really understand the numbers yet, which is like this HB 9.5. So what I tried to do here was to count and one to be able to tell that, oh, from this abbreviation, I mean, we already know that if you have a zero, it means that that person does not have that disease. If you have a, that means that patient have that disease. So I tried to, okay, if I count zeros and one, I can categorically tell them that, oh, out of maybe 12,500 patients, these are the number of patients that are diabetics and all that. But then after doing this general unpivoting, I later realized that I shouldn't have added the ones that are not zeros and ones to it. So that's like the part that I'm not really done with. But then out of what I have here, I was still able to do something, which is this medical conditions. So this medical conditions is saying that the total number of card, I think card is what? Sorry, I have to check this thing. So another thing that helped me with this analysis was I used it to just get a better insight of this their terminologies and all. So CAD is coronary heart disease. So the disease that is most common for their patients, because this is like 10,600 out of 12,500 as CAD. I think this one is diabetes. This HTN is what again?
Most diseases
This
are
HTN.
I think
Okay. Hello. Hello. Okay,
hello.
so this HTN is like, yeah, I can hear you. Are you speaking to me?
Go on.
Okay, so this HTN is hepatitis and all that. So how I was able to do this is that, let me try to replicate that in data that I uploaded in Power BI. I pivoted the diseases data parts so that I can count the total number of patients with a particular disease. And this is kind of giving us insights into, oh, let's say 2,000 out of the patients that came to your facility died. So we can tell that out of those 2,000, this is the number that has a particular underlying disease that is maybe it's a life-threatening disease. So that's like the deep dive into their health challenges and all that I said I've not really been able to work on. So let me just try to do that on pivoting, and I think we can wrap it up. So for that, I did that in Power Query as well. So I'm going to go to transform data, and I already mentioned that I had to like do that part again because I felt I just still could not, like I shouldn't have added some parts. So to replicate that part, I added some columns and I unpivoted those columns. Then I was able to count those diseases per the number of patients. So what I did was to click on each of the columns that I want to work on. I don't need this at the moment. So the HTN, I think that HTN is attention, right? So judging by the writing that I was going to do earlier, I think it has to do with just these columns. So to on pivot, I go to transform, then on pivot columns. On pivot columns. So this one pivots this particular columns to have the values separate and the attributes separate. So with this, I want to change this to disease. and maybe this has disease output or disease value or something. I think I used disease output earlier. Disease output, nothing like this. Okay, so now this has just zeros and one here. So I just come back here to close and apply. And so how I now arrived at that count was to plug in a chart of that disease against the count here. And I excluded zeros because I know that zero means that they don't have that disease. One means that that person has that disease. Let me just cross check what I have here. Okay, just the disease and count. So I think I used this and then should have disease and counts already, which is this disease, then counts. So this is showing some, which is not supposed to be. It's going to count. I think, is it counts or some? If I'm counting, that means I'm counting. No, sorry, I think it's some. Yeah. But then I don't want this sum to include zeros. Guys, is one here. Then apply filter. Trying to remember what I did, guys. Let me go back. I used disease and count disease. Then what next? So let me just duplicate the chart here then. So not the exact value that I used. So disease, okay, I use disease and disease value. No, disease value should be in x-axis. And comments. Yeah, I think that's what I did for that. And I'm not sure this is accurate at the moment, but then something around counting the number of diseases to tell, oh, this was the total number of patients that has a particular underlying disease and all. Is anyone still here, guys? Can anyone still hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello? Yeah.
Hi.
That's like that's like what I've been able to do. That's like the data analysis that I have so far for that particular healthcare data. Do we have questions? Do we want to do some contributions? I'm not sure if this Kebamboye, this person was on the call when we started the class. Hi, Kebamboye. Sorry if I murdered your name. Good afternoon.
I'm new here. I'm on a journey of starting to do data analysis. So I just wanted to get an idea what it's all about.
Oh, okay. All right, I get it. Okay, so guys, that's like the major reason someone is raising a hand. Oh, is it not fresh? I an open call.
Okay. are you done with what you're saying? Because I don't want to interrupt you. I want you to finish what you were about to say. I don't want you to lose your train of thought.
No, that's fine. I'm done. I actually
Okay.
want others to speak.
Okay. Um, First of all, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much for everything you've done. I mean, it's rare
Uh,
to get, I mean, a platform like this where I think it's a very good initiative. So I just want to like just ask you to like paint me like a picture of what like you do like on a daily basis, because right now I work in procurement, and what my daily office routine looks like is more like go to office, like organize your Excel spreadsheets like of price and customers listing, compile them, send them to your departmental manager. If you're supposed to go out to go and buy stuff, contact the vendors already, compare prices and the likes. So like that's what my daily work life activity looks like in the office. But I'm just having difficulties like trying to paint the picture of what is like for an analyst such as yourself.
okay. So thank you so much for the kind words to begin with. And regarding what I do daily, well, let me speak based on what I do at the moment. So currently, I work with a media agency, and most times their work is kind of routine. So routine in the sense that we have, okay, well, our clients might have a request that doesn't make it routine. That request could be, oh, they might want you to dig out some data, do some charts. That one is not routine. But let me speak from the routine perspective first. So on a daily basis, if I go to work, I want to pull out some metrics like, okay, the total number of this, the total number of that, the increase. So this is 2025. Let's say, okay, I'm comparing a particular number in 2025 with 2024, or maybe there's a drop, or can I see why I have it? Is it that they don't want to spend more money, or is it because of this? That's like that's like one of the things I do on a daily basis. So aside from that, I mentioned the fact that there might be a request from our clients. So one of the stations that we work with, where I want to see the rates or something that has to do with, okay, I'm just trying as much as possible to use plain words so that you'll be able to comprehend what I'm saying better. So they might just want to
Okay.
say, oh, they have a record. They want to run a particular advert, and they want to see their past record with a particular type of adverts, or maybe a type of station thing. Or we might want to say, okay, before we run this advert with NTA, can we what NTA has been able to do for us in the past? Is it that anytime we run an advert with MTA, we're always having a low views? Are people really watching what we are advertising on their channel? That's like a data analyst work for agency. They say, okay, the last time we did an advert on Indomie has maybe this number of views, this number of records. And again, this data is not like I make those data, I get those data from somewhere else too. But to do all this comparison of year in, year out, month in, month out, the kind of advert, I'll be the one to do that. So aside from that, they have, if you have a client, if you're servicing the clients, they might just come to you and tell you that, okay, can we see what we've done in 2025? Do we really make money? Are we losing money? Okay, what's the increase in percentage from last year to this year? You're not just going to come and tell them that, okay, you made 500 million and you made 250 million. What's the difference? Where are the difference from? So that a monthly report thing too, that, oh, they want to see those are like the written parts that, oh, on a monthly basis, or before we even ask to send it to us that, oh, this month against last month, or this month against last year. There are times that they will say, okay, this month against last month, that's month on month, or this time last year and this time this year. What's the difference? So those are like one of the or some of the things that I can say that my routine work has to do with. So the ones that are not routine are, they might just come from maybe they just went for a seminar and they just want to start disturbing your life. Because I call it disturbing your life because those ones are out of this thing. They can just say, okay, can you tell us this? You'll be like, how do you want me to tell you now? They'll tell you that even the data that you don't have, they'll ask for it, and they will not just ask for the data, they will want insights from that data, one report from that data. And before you can even pull out reports, you should have the data, you should understand the data. So
Of
that's
course.
like the media agency routine and maybe requests from clients that I can speak about based on my day-to-day work. I don't know if I kind of answered your question, or do
I mean,
you want
that's
me to
it
expatiate
was
more?
very explanatory. It was very
Okay, okay, okay.
explanatory because conceptually, I think is sort of similar to what I do, but then it's just that
Okay.
what I do right now. I mentioned at the beginning that I am a recent graduate, so
Okay.
I tried applying for some data analyst this thing, but not to digress from the point. My
Mm,
current workplace now, they ask you things like this, but then they want you to tell them like on the spot. And I don't know because I'm currently an associate. So
mm,
my partner, he whenever my departmental manager comes and then asks him this sort of question, it's more like he says it off it, and then as he's asking him, he's answering him. As he's asking him, he's answering him. If he asks him, compare from this between this particular supplier A, B, C, D, which one supplies fastest, which one takes advantage of the fact that it supplies fastest to charge us more, all these kind of these things. But and then that guy like he gives all those
Maybe.
kind of, God bless you, like he gives those kind of like answer as he's asking the question, he's responding back. And I'm there, I'm just like standing there and then I'm stunned because these are things that I would have to like do on Excel and then look at them and I have to expect them coming. But then so I'm just like trying to like when I was telling this my friend that referred me to this group, he was telling me that
Okay.
maybe what I do already is not too far from data analysis because I used to think that if I didn't know like SQL, maybe Tableau or this Power BI that I just did now, maybe and Python 2 or R, like I literally had no hope and something like that. And I'm not this
Mm,
kind of bookie person. I look at things in practical, and then I just get this kind of I can do something, I can do the same thing, right? So and then I just go ahead and do it. And when I tried SQL class, my head was just overeating. Like I was just bringing out smoke, and they're like, so I, from that point on, I just felt like, but let me just do this thing. Let me just conclude and not make this thing too much this thing. So
yeah,
I
I get
think
it.
conceptually, it's kind of the same thing with what I do. So if I actually now want to, what what is the I'm still trying to really, really identify the candid difference between what I do and what you do. Because if it's in terms of concept, I think I already do this thing to a point, to a good degree. It's just the tools. So I'm just trying to understand what the bridge is for me between what I do now and then what you do and how to cross over to something like that. You get what I'm saying?
I think I do get you to a large extent. So one thing I want you to understand is that you don't have to start data analysis with mastering a lot of tools. If you currently use Excel at your work, at your job, I think you can still hold on with it, or hold on with learning other tools and stick to Excel. So if you are sticking to Excel, you want to understand the nitty-gritty of data analysis. Even aside tools, you just need to have like the basic understanding of, okay, what do I do? What is my job role as a data analyst? What problem do I solve? And in what kind of organization can I work? I think understanding those concepts will help you better. And even when you are coming into Excel, you are coming in with some understanding of, okay, this is the reason why I'm using this particular Excel. And if you feel like, okay, you are done with Excel, you have the full knowledge of what you need to know in Excel, and you're moving to another tool, you know why you are moving to another tool. Because I can tell you for free that this whole SQL, Excel, Python, I don't use it at my current job. I don't. The only thing I use at my current job is Excel and PowerPoint. Because they believe in doing all these PowerPoint deck of like maybe 200 pages. They'll share it with media people. They'll share it with this. They'll share it with that. So if you do Power BI for themselves, they won't be able to view it because they want something on deck, which has to be in PowerPoint. So if I'm doing anything, it has to be in PowerPoint. It has to be interactive in PowerPoint. And they just want Excel in PowerPoint. So you don't need to like go overboard. Oh, learn this, learn that, learn that. And at the end of the day, you are even finding it difficult to find your feet. If it is Excel that you know how to use, at least be good at Excel first. Understand what you are doing. So know why you are moving to another stool. Know why you are using SQL. Because I have asked a lot of people that, okay, why do you want to learn SQL? They will tell you because people are learning it. As how? So that's like my opinion, right? Because the fact that I currently work in a space where they don't use SQL does not mean they are not using SQL. And that does not mean I'm not looking for opportunities where I can't actually use my knowledge of data analysis. I'm just telling you that you might still land a job without having to learn all the tools, so to say. Yeah, so I don't know. This is an hour 21 minutes already, and I don't want
Thank you
this
very
video
much.
to be a very lengthy one. You're welcome. So if there are no other questions, contributions, okay.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Yeah, my question is the date of admission. You say earlier that you take away the date of admission from the duration of stay. I tried applying it, but it's not working. Hello?
Can we have like maybe we should, or maybe I should end the recording and you stay on the call. Let me see what you're doing. Or what do you think? So how did you do you mean you try to deduct duration of stay from it and it's not giving you any results?
Yes, it's giving me a result, but coming to that aspect of the empty space.
Okay.
Still,
Can you share your screen? Can you share your screen? Can you make it fast? So let's see.
I don't know how to share the screen right away.
Are you on your phone or your laptop?
I'm on my phone.
Oh, so that means that's not possible, right? Since you're using your laptop for the analysis. So you can try to send me a message or you can drop a message on the group, right? So that I'll attend to it and maybe if any other person has encountered the same issue. I'm just trying as much as possible to make this video not too lengthy because it's already lengthy. So that anyone check on, not be like, oh, what did they talk about for 2 hours? I'm not watching. Please drop a message on the group. I will make sure I reply to you. And maybe if possible, you can just make a short video so I'll know, I'll have a full understanding of what you are talking about and how to like go about it.
Okay. Thank you so
All
much.
right, guys. Thank you for joining and staying till the end of this section. Happy New Year in advance. Hopefully we'll have a question and answer section. I just hope people will join, right? Because I want us to have like an interactive section. Okay, maybe question on the industry and learning from each other, basically your experiences and what you think we can do better as analysts going forward, or maybe just question and answer an interactive section. I hope that will be possible on Friday, and I hope people will join soon. Yeah, so that will be to the end of today's section. Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Thank you so much.
All right.
All right, thank you. Have a nice
You're
day.
welcome. And you too.
Thank you. Have a nice day too.
And you too. Bye.
I don't clean now. I cleaned her yesterday. Cleaned her yesterday. So come watch it.